What's going on, YouTube? My name's Tony Maritato. I'm a licensed physical therapist, and welcome to the Shoulder Guide channel. So my objective here is to share content and ideas that I use in the clinic every single day to help my patients recover following either rotator cuff repair surgery, frozen shoulder, adhesive capsulitis, or just when they're dealing with a painful shoulder. Now, none of the content I'm sharing should ever be considered medical advice. It's information. It's something to go back to your therapist and talk to them about, and just something to give you kind of ideas about what else is possible. So when we're talking about shoulder mobility, when we're talking about a stiff shoulder, maybe an adhesive capsulitis or something else that's causing the shoulder to lose range of motion, there's a series that I like to go through for shoulder mobility that involves what we call a pass-through. So the most classic, now this could be a dowel rod, it could be a broomstick. This is a non-weighted pull. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little wider than the width of my shoulder. I'm going to start with it down at my hips, and I'm going to pass it all the way over my head and then all the way back. And so this kind of is a general assessment. It's non-specific to determine how much mobility do I have through the shoulder blade, the thoracic. But most people who are dealing with stiffness, tightness, limitation, pain, they can't do that. They can't even imagine doing that. So what I like to start with is a really inexpensive, this is a TheraBand brand rubber band. The darker the color, the more resistant. So I usually start with a yellow or a red. It's, I don't know, maybe it's 3 feet, 2.5 feet in length. And basically it's just a really light resistance. And so if my patient can do it, I'll have them create a little horizontal traction on the band, and I'll have them come just barely over the top of their head. They'll come to where the band is behind them, and then they'll come back over the top. And as the shoulder loosens up, what'll happen is I'll have them go a little bit higher. I'll have them go a little bit further back, because what we're ultimately trying to do is gain mobility. Now, this is one of my favorite bands to use, but you can also use some of these pull-up bands. So something like this. This is a lighter resistance, purple. I'll grab it out on the ends. I'll create a little horizontal tension on the band. I'll pass it overhead. I'll bring it back. And so you can see, if I'm really limited, what I might do is get up and bring it straight down close to my body. But as I loosen up, I want to create a little bit of space between the back of my shoulder blades and the band. One of the kind of little tips or tricks that I like to share with my patients, and I issue this as a home exercise program a lot, is let's pretend that my patient is just super limited. There is no chance they're going to go a full pass through. So what we do is we take a band like this, we flip it over behind them so that the band is kind of right around the top of the shoulder blade. This is a comfortable position. Almost every person can get into this position. And what I do is I have them press a little bit away from the body. So triceps are working a little bit. My shoulder blades are protracting and rounding. And then what happens is, as I bring the hands out to the side, my goal is to squeeze the shoulder blades together behind my body. So big chest, I fill my lungs with air, I squeeze my shoulder blades back, and then I come back into this position. We might do 5 or 6 of these to kind of get the shoulder blades moving. Then from here, I might take it into an overhead reach and come back down. And I might do 5 or 6 here. And then eventually that leads into the pass-through where I'm coming over and back, no space, to a full pass-through where I've got a lot of distance behind me. So the whole idea here is we want to do this within a reasonable range of motion. We don't want to increase pain. This is not the kind of thing that my patients should do, and every repetition hurts more and more and more. It should be one of those things where first couple repetitions, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel tight and restricted. But then as you continue to do it, it loosens up, the tissue warms up, the metabolism starts to happen within the tissue. So we get cellular changes, we get chemical changes, and you should feel good by the end of performing 8 to 12 repetitions of this. But this is not something for you to do at home. This is something for you to talk to your therapist about, run some ideas by them, let them tell you when you're ready to start doing something like this. If you have specific questions, go ahead and post them. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. And I appreciate you. I'll catch you on the next video.